From JBS Studios in Greater New York, this is the JBS News Update with Teisha Bader.
I'm Teisha Bader with the JBS News Update for Monday, December the 9th, 2024. We open with a number of IDF casualties in Gaza and in Lebanon. 3 IDF soldiers were killed fighting terror group Hamas in Gaza today. They are 19-year-old Sergeant Omri Cohen, 20-year-old First Sergeant Ido Jano, and 19-year-old Staff Sergeant Barak Daniel Halpern. 12 other soldiers were injured in the same incident. And 24-year-old IDF Captain Avraham Ben Pinchas was killed Saturday night when his tank was hit by Hamas anti-tank fire amid fighting the terror group in Gaza. And 4 Israeli reservists were killed in what is being called an operational accident in southern Lebanon yesterday. 43-year-old Major in Reserve Yavne Zinershain, 31-year-old Captain in Reserve Sagi Yaakov Rubenstein, 28-year-old Master Sergeant in Reserve Binyamin Destau Negose, and 25-year-old Sergeant First Class in Reserve Erez Ben Ephraim were scanning a tunnel when weapons and explosives that were stored there exploded, killing the 4. We turn now to Syria and the dramatic events of this weekend with the fall of the Bashar al-Assad regime. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu toured Israel's border with Syria in the Golan Heights and weighed in on the developments.
This is a historic day for the Middle East. The collapse of the Assad regime, the tyranny in Damascus, offers great opportunity, but also is fraught with significant dangers.
The Prime Minister said the events also mean we have to take action against possible threats. One of them is the collapse of the Separation of Forces Agreement from 1974 between Israel and Syria. This agreement held for 50 years. Last night, it collapsed.
The Syrian army abandoned its positions. We gave the Israeli army the order to take over these positions to ensure that no hostile force embeds itself right next to the border of Israel. This is a temporary defensive position until a suitable arrangement is found. Equally, we send a hand of peace to all those beyond our border in Syria, to the Druze, to the Kurds, to the Christians, and to the Muslims who want to live in peace with Israel.
And the IDF said that in accordance with the situational assessment following the recent events in Syria, including the entry of armed personnel into the buffer zone, the IDF has deployed forces in the buffer zone and in several other places necessary for its defense to ensure the safety of the communities of the Golan Heights and the citizens of Israel. The IDF adding, we emphasize that the IDF is not interfering with the internal events in Syria. The IDF will continue to operate as long as necessary in order to preserve the buffer zone and defend Israel and its civilians. An unmanned aerial vehicle hit a residential building in central Israel this morning. The IDF said the UAV that was likely launched from Yemen hit a home in the area of Yavne, saying no injuries were reported. No sirens were sounded at the time of the incident, and the IDF said that the incident is under review. Well, Hamas this weekend released a proof-of-life video of 25-year-old hostage Matan Zangauker. The undated recording appears to have been taped recently, though it is unclear exactly when. Zangauker was kidnapped by Hamas terrorists from his home in kibbutz near Oz during the October 7th massacre. Upon the video's release, the hostages' families forum stated that the critical need to secure the return of all 100 remaining hostages becomes more urgent with each passing hour, urging all parties involved in negotiations to explore every available path and apply all possible forms of pressure. These hostages' lives hang by a thread. The 100 hostages who remain held in Gaza have now been captive for 430 days. Taking a look now at our programming for tonight on JBS for Monday, December the 9th. At 7 o'clock, FIDF CEO Steve Weil is joined for analysis by Amichai Stein, diplomatic correspondent for Israeli TV channel Kan 11. At 8, Abigail Pogrebin speaks with Andrés Spokoiny, president of the Jewish Funders Network, to discuss his book, Tradition and Transition, about how Jewish communities can balance heritage and modernity. At 8:30 tonight, Eric Goldman speaks with filmmaker Sandi DuBowski and Rabbi Amichai Lau-Lavie to discuss Sabbath Queen, their epic documentary that follows Lau-Lavie on a 20-year journey from radical drag queen to influential rabbi of a God-optional, artist-driven synagogue. At 9, Paula Eizelt is on L'chaim. At 10, it's Good Week Israel, which is also coming up next. At 10:30, a replay of the news. And that's the JBS News Update for Monday, December the 9th, 2024. I'm Teisha Bader. Am Yisrael Chai.